I always wanted to have a conglomerate of dope artists, you know, a camp, a team of X-Men, of Voltron, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. Fantastic Four, you know, whatever. In 2003 era, Knoxville, Tennessee, Johnson City, Tennessee, like record labels to sign you just simply didn't exist. I went the independent route from the get-go, partially out of necessity, having no one to put out my records, but also out of choice, you know? I mean, if the downside to it is, you know, you come out of pocket. You have to absorb every cost and expense. You know, you operate in the red a lot of the times. You know, it's not easy, especially when you're competing with even other independents that are better financed than you are. You know, at the same time, it's like I can always do exactly what the fuck I want to do. And I don't have to listen to anybody's stupid ideas that I'm not feeling, and knowing the kind of music that I make and just how stubborn I am as far as like what I will and won't do. I just kind of wanted to avoid that altogether. We started SpaceLAB in 2003. The first release was Future Dead Rapper by myself. That was my debut. We did all right, like considering that we had no money whatsoever, like no money. I'm not kidding when I say that, you know, we've built this label out of pocket lint and laundry quarters. Because you got to figure, at the time we started SpaceLAB, YouTube was still 3 years away. MySpace hadn't caught on yet. You know, Facebook sure as hell hadn't caught on yet. There was no Twitter, nothing, you know, so we literally, those records that we sold were completely 100% old-fashioned elbow grease. Like the Too Short E40 Master P, out the trunk live shows, you know, hand-to-hand hustling kind of way. You know, we eventually shied away from that when I started coming to New York and started getting bombarded with every dumbass's mixtape with a crayon drawing on the front of it for an album cover. But you know, we're kind of like, you know, I've always said like I'm an old kid and a young dinosaur, because I kind of came like literally right on the border of what you call old school and new school. You know, I mean, I feel like if we'd have came out a couple years before, I could have maybe rode that wave of, you know, when indie rap was really doing some numbers and you could sell 10,000 12 inches just by having it stocked at Fat Beats. You know, whereas at the same time, like if we'd have came out, you know, a couple years later, you know, we would have had things like YouTube and social networking and all that stuff from the get-go, you know, so it you know, whatever though, we've done our fucking thing and we've been in business for, like, and in business, like, I want to stress that when I say we've been in business, like, we are a company on paper. Like, I file a tax return for SpaceLAB. You know, we really exist on paper.
Shit.